In the last topic, we introduced, not the last section, all the way back in the last topic, we introduced the idea of two different types of errors: syntax errors and logical errors. And in that topic, we went more in depth with syntax errors and even had some videos there to show you a process within the IDE, using IDE tools, to systematically debug all of those syntax errors. Logical errors, unfortunately, are a little more complex, and there's a little bit of an art to debugging logical errors. But logical errors are where your program does something that you don't want it to do. Either it takes a wrong turn and executes the wrong number or the wrong set of instructions, or maybe it goes through and it looks like it's fine, but it produces the wrong answer. But IDEs do provide tools to help you debug logical errors, and here we're going to look at breakpoints. Okay, don't worry if you're, after watching this video, if you're like, oh wow, I don't quite get how I'm supposed to use this, because we are definitely going to be revisiting breakpoints as you progress through the course, as you learn new material, to show you, okay, here's how you can use breakpoints with this stuff. The purpose for this video is to show you what a breakpoint does, how to create one, and just the basics of how it works, the mechanics of it, so to speak. And more specifically in this video, the mechanics of using breakpoints in Visual Studio. I've already got our program. It's just like we left it from the comments video, I believe. It's the last one, and we want to do a couple of things here first before we get too far. One, I think I'm going to shrink this a little bit so that you can see more of the program. Hopefully at that size you can still read it okay in the video. Another thing, I want this, I don't want this commented out. So if you remember from that comment video, we can just move that up here, and then all of this is good. And in this case, I don't want to do this. It's just going to create an extra step for us. So being in there, break kind of the continuity of what we want to do. Okay, so what is a breakpoint? A breakpoint is something where you say, okay, I've got a logical error. I think it's happening around here somewhere. I want to stop my program here and see what's going on. So one thing, let me just show you how to create one. It's very easy to create a breakpoint. In this little gray section over here, we want to create a breakpoint here. You just click it, and to remove it, you just click it again. And see, it's not really a stop sign, but it kind of looks like a little stop sign. And that's basically what it does. It says, as you're running your program, it says, okay, stop right here. And as a matter of fact, it stops before here. So it stops at the very, very beginning of this line. And so they're very easy. You can put multiple breakpoints wherever you want to put them. We'll put one here. And but, well, you can put them wherever you want. But the thing is it's not going to, if you put it right here, see, it even says a little, there's nothing on that line. So it will go ahead and go through. So there are some places, especially like blank lines or lines that are all comments, and it turns out even here, it's not a small one, but it won't stop there. And I'm not going to get into why, but most places where you have statements, you'll be able to put a breakpoint and it will stop there. So I'm going to remove these. So you say, okay, great, I stop it there. Well, what's the point? Again, you can see the status of your program. You can see what it's doing, what instruction it went to, And and a lot of times what you're looking for is what are the values that have been calculated up to this point. That allows you to say, okay, where did a calculation go wrong? And sometimes there are numeric values that are involved as well with selecting one set of instructions over another. So that's going to be the biggest thing. Again, we're looking at mostly the mechanics here, but now you can see, we'll go ahead and click the little play button. Is out of date. Oh yeah, we did change the comments on there, so it does have to rebuild it. And now our screen came up, but it disappeared. Now you see right here. See, that's pretty easy to see. Pretty straightforward. There's a little yellow arrow, and it says we're right here. So if you switch to the program, see, it hasn't output anything yet. And if you remember from the previous videos where we created this program a little bit at a time, this statement outputs my first program works. So okay, great, it stopped. What comes next? If you notice back up at your play button, it says continue. So what it's going to do is it's going to continue until it hits the next breakpoint, the next stopping point. So let's go ahead and press that and look and see what happens. Okay, now it says we're right here. If we go back to our little console screen, sure enough, it has output my first program works. Okay. Before we go, let's see, let's just switch back to here. There's something else that I want to point out. Now, you're going to be learning all about variables and all that kind of stuff. But remember, I was saying the values inside your program. Here they are. The first time you do this, it may be on autos, so that's going to be the most recent. You may want to go to locals, and I'm going to keep it on locals for this video. But here you can see there's a name and there's a value. This value is, we'll talk about later when we get to this. It's meaningless, really, because you haven't given a value yet, but we're fixing to. So this is something that you can pay attention to here. So remember, it stopped right in front of this, and if you remember from the previous videos, even though we haven't covered this material yet, you do know that this line is where it asks for information from the user. So if we click continue again, notice this pops up, and that's because it's waiting for that value. So enter whatever number you want to enter in here. Well, I'm just going to enter 5 and then hit enter. Okay, good. And if we switch back to our IDE, we see good, it got the value, and now we're right here where we've stopped. Again, see, you can notice now this pause int, we'll go into later when we revisit this exactly, how all that works and what it means. But just pay attention to the fact that, sure enough, you can see that value that we entered. We entered 5, and now you can see that value. So that's all there is to breakpoints. Hopefully you can see where this can really help you with your debugging your logical errors, because essentially, again, a breakpoint lets you stop your program right in the middle of it and see what it's doing, and that helps you to narrow down and see what is going on from a logical standpoint. It could be that when you planned, remember all the planning out your logic and everything, it could be that you planned your logic wrong. Or it could be that you did something a little out of order, or typed in a wrong formula or something like that. But at least with breakpoints, you can look back at your logic and see and use these breakpoints to see, okay, where is my program going astray? Where is it doing something that it's not supposed to? And then you can determine why and fix it. Okay, like I said, breakpoints, pretty simple little deal. And I guess a couple of more things right before we finish. If you're in the middle, or if you get stuck or something and you want to end, you can just press stop. Well, we'll demonstrate that in a minute. We're at the bottom where it returns 0. I say continue. There's no more breakpoints. It finishes. However, we'll go through this again and see we're back here at that first breakpoint. Now we'll illustrate the stop, so you can stop debugging. It will also go back. Again, removing breakpoints is as easy as clicking on them over here in the left. Excellent. Okay, so that's all there is to breakpoints. Keep in mind, we will revisit breakpoints as you progress through the course and you learn more things to show you more specifically how you can use those in debugging different things. Okay, we'll close this and we'll see you in the next video. This concludes another video for Introduction to Programming with C++, brought to you by LogiKomp. You can access the full course by going to the course homepage at logikomp.com/introcpp. While we are proud to offer this course free of cost to individuals, we do ask that if you continue to use the course, that you support its production and maintenance by making at least a small purchase from LogiKomp Domains and Hosting. You can pick up a custom domain, renewable annually, for around $10 at logikomp.com/hosting. Thank you.